to our podcast, Let's Momble. I'm one of your hosts, Danielle, and we have here
Antje.
And Alyssa?
Today's episode is going to be about stay-at-home moms, the pros and cons. Welcome back to our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed our first one. It was our first one, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about our first one. It's just our first one. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's basically about us telling you or letting you know about our experience with being a stay-at-home mom and how it came to be, and obviously because we have children, but there's more to it than what meets the eye, the obvious eye.
Right. So, what we're going to talk about, like I said earlier, is stay-at-home moms. We all are stay-at-home moms. Obviously, Anthea, you are a working mom and a stay-at-home mom. We are going to talk about how long we've been doing it, just random things, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's get going.
Yeah, I've been a stay-at-home mom was a stay-at-home mom for 12 years when our son was born in 2002. Um, I met my husband I don't know if I said that already, in one of the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
We met in Germany. He was in the army. And so I migrated over to the USA with him. And we decided for me to stay at home since we were still working on my immigration papers as well to be able to work later on in life. And he was responsible for getting our lives back together after the army, in the civilian world again. So we will have another episode about that too.
Right.
So yeah, we had our firstborn, and then all the others followed. I have a total of 4 children, and we made the decision that I stay at home since he had the higher income, and I was also legally not able to work yet. So yeah, that's how we decided I would stay home with the kids.
Right, yeah. It's the same thing for myself. My husband, we both discussed that with my kid, he needed that 24/7 hour watch, and you guys know that.
Mm-hmm.
And we just decided that, and again, because your husband and my husband are the same line of work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys know, but if you guys don't know, they are in the same line, and we discussed, because I worked for a little bit, and then I was like, my kid needs me.
Yeah,
he really needs me, and that's how we became. So yeah, I mean, I only have the one, but that he's one, but with him, there's like 20 of them. So that's the way I look at it. There's 20 of them in there.
Yeah.
So that's for me. I actually enjoy it. I think it's fun. He keeps me on my toesies. You guys seen it? Keeps me going. I can multitask. You guys seen it? I can multitask like crazy with this kid. But I love it. I don't know. I'm sure you loved it too with being with all your kids.
Oh yeah, I did. Once you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't see it right away because they're little and they get on your nerves. I'll be honest, they get on your nerves once in a while.
That's not true.
Sure. It's a tough decision to stay home, but it's also very rewarding at the same time.
Yes.
You get to stay home with them. You don't miss any milestones. The first walk, the first talk, and the first dance, and
first dance.
yeah,
Prom.
very early on. So yeah, there's a lot of pros to it, and I was very fortunate, and had the luxury at this time. It's literally a luxury.
Yes.
To be staying at home with your children, and I appreciated that very much. And
same.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
For me, I became a stay-at-home mom because I had my first one. My two are 3 years apart. So I had my first one and I was working full-time. But once I went in to have my second one, daycare was outrageous. I was working to pay for one kid to go, and then my husband was going to have to pay for the other kid to be in daycare for me to continue to work. So then that's when we sat down and we discussed that it was best that I stay at home and love it. The kids need me as well. When they were in school, always going to the nurse's office for every little thing. So, had to be available for that. And now that they're older, they're not as needing me. So I'm able to, get out and do a little bit more stuff and take time for myself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The pros. I'm gonna talk about the pros because cons is really hard to talk about because a lot of people have a bunch of cons on stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
A lot of people bash that, and I don't understand it. But okay. Anyway,
right.
I'm not gonna get into it really, but we are gonna talk about it a little bit, not to the point where it's gonna get me mad. I don't want to get mad on this podcast.
We'll still address the cons, but just not into detail.
Exactly. So the pros for me, because we all have different pros.
Mm-hmm.
The pros for me, like what you said, Anthea, it's a luxury. Mm-hmm. It's for sure a luxury, and a lot of moms aren't able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say I feel bad for them because I do feel bad actually. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they can't.
They don't always have that choice either.
Exactly. I don't know. It's I love it. That's why when my husband and I talked about it, it's a luxury, and we are very fortunate that we can do that. Yes. We, like you said, Anthea, there's a lot of things you could do with your kids. You don't miss a lot of things.
Right.
And you're able to be there when the nurse calls you every 5 seconds.
Yes.
Your son fell. Your son bumped his head. I'm like, okay, is he okay?
Or his teeth hurt.
Yeah.
Or
it's got a paper cut.
Their tummy hurts.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah, and then right now we, as sister-in-laws, we have actually the village to have an outlet. And that's a part of the reason why we created this podcast for stay-at-home moms or other moms that don't have that outlet,
right, that
are constantly with their children. Like, I'm the oldest in the bunch. I won't say how old. But when my children were little, we didn't know each other. And I migrated over here, and I had no one to talk to other than my husband. I love my husband. No, as a girl, you need girls to talk.
Yes.
Adult ladies around my age, and I had my children in my early 20s, and so it's a little these are ones of the cons that I experienced, that you just need an outlet, and sometimes you don't have that to your exposure, and so it can get lonely at times, but now that I look back, and I also had my children, I had them very close together. So my boys are only a year apart, and my girls 2 years apart, which gave me. It was a tough time, especially with the boys, because it was like having twins, and it takes. It's tough.
No twins. No, thank you.
But now that I look back, and now that my kids are older, I think we did make the right decision of me staying at home, having them so close together. Because now I can see the benefits of that. I'm still young enough to go party.
Go party.
I'm not gonna go dance.
I was gonna say, I'm like ready to bed at 9.
Right. 7:30 comes around.
I can have date nights with my husband, and I don't have to worry about a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
I can have just girls' night with these two ladies, and don't have to worry about my kids. Well, technically, I do have a shadow. She follows me around, but
I love your shadow.
She's gonna be 19.
Your shadow's amazing.
And she loves hanging out.
She's our babysitter sometimes.
So I rather have her hanging around us than with the wrong crowd.
That's right, because we're a cool crowd.
Yeah,
Cool moms. I
I don't like to toot our own horn, but
I did it.
Okay, but those were the cons back in the days. But the times do get better as they get older. And you just kind of have to. You just kind of have to tough it out. I rather, like Alice already mentioned, with the high cost of childcare. So imagine she only had one in childcare, and I had 4 kids, so that did not make any sense. Especially when you're in your early 20s and you're trying to get a job, you just don't have the income, and especially if you're an immigrant, you don't have the educational experience that you have in your own country that's not really credited here in this country as well. So, and we'll talk about being a work-at-home mom and how I came to be a work-at-home mom and make us a decent income. But yeah, so now I see my children interacting with each other now that they're even older and taking care of each other. Not in a sense of they are their parents are raising each other. No, I was there to raise them, but they take care of each other, hanging out, playing the same games, and having the same interests and talking about it, and just being close with each other. So that's my experience of being a stay-at-home mom, and what I can recommend if someone ever is in my situation or a similar situation as mine, or if you even decide what am I going to do, how are we going to do this? Right. It'll all work out.
Oh, yeah.
Once you make that decision.
Yeah, just sit down and have all your, what's that saying? All your
ducks in a line. Ducks in a row. Ducks in a line.
You know what I mean? But yeah, exactly. And even if you're doing it by yourself, more power to you doing it by yourself.
But you still have to have your, all your stuff lined up and know what you're going to go for.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I know people who do it by themselves, who are stay-at-home moms and do it by themselves. And I grew up with a single mom. She did it all by herself. So, I mean, I've seen it. Been part of it.
I didn't see it on the single mom side, but I saw it on the single dad side. Yes. My dad was the one who raised me. So, I saw it on the opposite side, but it's still similar. But
it goes for both. It goes for female and male.
Yeah.
Honestly, because a lot of people are like, oh, dads don't do much or whatever, but they do if they put their, effort and if they really want to be there, then they will do it. But there are some that aren't going to want to do it and don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And that's when, everyone else steps in, like you said, like a big village, you have one. And even if you don't, there's Facebook groups, there's Instagram groups, there's Snapchat, all the social media groups.
Oh, there's a bunch of groups.
There's a bunch. And put yourself out there. Make new friends. I've done it. And I still talk to those friends. Even if you do go to work and you know those friends at work or your coworkers, they have kids, chit-chat with them. There's nothing wrong. Play dates. You get yourself out there instead of being at home, because being at home could put a lot of toll on your mental health.
Oh, yeah.
You can go crazy. And I went crazy.
I have been there, done that.
You had 4. I'm sure you did. Oh, yeah. 4 times. I have the one time who's got 20 different personalities in there. And then you have your 2 as well. So.
And I'm still going through it.
Yeah. We still are, because ours are still young.
Yes.
And they still have years of it where we still have to go through the puberty and their mood swings. Part of the puberty, and I mean, I'm just thinking
about the preteens, the teenage.
Thinking about it already.
What did I get myself into? Huh?
Oh my god, I need a glass of wine. Just thinking about it, and he's not even there yet.
Yeah, he'll get this.
No. I don't want it.
But boys are easier than girls.
Yes, that's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing, and
even though I had very
yeah.
very good girls, but the emotions and
I can say that
So,
you know I have
boys they just go like meh, and they
Fine.
close their door. Fine. They won't do it what you tell them to, but eventually they will.
yeah.
or
But
I don't
girls,
want
they
to, and they slam
They
a door,
just
but
can't
they still
take
Yeah.
it when you get mad at them.
do.
They start crying and,
Oh,
and
no.
sobbing. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh
I
my
get
God,
what-
it breaks my heart.
I get a lot of the time. Why are you yelling at me? Because you didn't do what I told you 20 times.
I swear, kids are funny. It's like with Nathaniel, because he's just learned how to say no thank you.
Oh, okay.
In a very sweet way,
Oh.
right? And I'm like, oh, it's super cute, you know, and he's, you know, speaking more. And then the other, I think it was like last night or the other day, I was like, Nathaniel, you got to pick up your DVDs. Time to clean up. And then he's like, no, thank you. I don't know how to go about that. He said it very
politely.
very polite, very sweet, not mean. And I'm like, I don't get mad.
You can't really yell at them.
How do you get upset with no, thank you? That's how he does it. Because he's learning how to speak. And I'm like, okay, I guess you don't have to.
Mommy
just
do it
shut
for
me
you.
I'm like, you know, I'll do it. Exactly.
All right, I'll do it for you.
You got it, Prince. Like, you got it.
As you can see, he's strapped her.
Maybe he is, but you.
No, not
when you
maybe.
hear-
Not
when you
maybe.
hear-
He is.
When you hear his little voice, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll give you all the DVDs. You make a mess
Right.
because you said no, thank
He
you.
said it nicely.
I'm like, okay. And I'm like, let's do it together. And he's like, gives me a look, like, fine.
At least he's doing it.
I know. That's the only attitude I get right now. But with him, he doesn't understand the attitude, and he still has a mentality of a little boy. So it's kind of hard to like balance out. I'm like, I'm gonna let that slide. Then thank you for now.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be like this one actor. What I do? What I do? What I do?
I know, right? I can't. Oh man, that kid keeps. That's what I'm saying. Being at home, that kid just keeps me going. Like, I'm everywhere with this kid. Mommy. I'm like, oh yes, child. Because he's learning how to speak. He's like, I'm fine. I'm coming. I'm on my way.
Right.
I'm just saying. I don't know. But I don't know. What are your cons? I mean, I know you mentioned a few of your cons.
Like I already mentioned my cons. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, you have no outlet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're with the kids all day, and when you need an adult to talk to, there aren't many options.
Right.
So
that's when like we start doing like hobbies. You know hobbies.
I do know hobbies.
I know hobbies. I know hobbies. You know, you have your gardening.
Right.
That's your outlet. I need to go outside, guys. I need to breathe. I want to go garden. Done. Okay, I'll see you later. You know?
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Or listen, I'm gonna do my diamond art. You guys need to get out.
Yep.
Me, I'm gonna read a book or do my diamond art or something. I'm gonna go clean. That's my outlet. I will clean. Listen to music.
You know, have my headsets on.
Right.
That's just literally my outlet. And or like when husband's home, I'm like, there you go. Your turn. I'm clocking out.
I do tag you're it. Tag you're it. It's your turn.
Bye. See you later. Let me know how it goes.
And then I go shopping.
Yeah.
I get out.
Yeah.
Or I go do my nails or my hair. Or I just go close myself in a room and do diamond art.
What are your cons in being a stay-at-home mom?
So in the beginning with my first one, I missed the first year. So I missed the first steps. I missed the, you know, but that goes into working. But, you know, just not, you know, I mean, in the beginning, we weren't as close as we are now at us three.
Right,
so I didn't have that outlet until once we got closer. And then I had that outlet of being able to, you know, have other people to talk to.
Right, because you also moved from your familiar place of
Yes.
residence to a complete new place,
Yes.
and you had also no.
I had nobody out here.
Other than your now husband.
Yeah.
No, I mean you didn't move countries, but
No, not countries.
Yours was overseas. Yours was
extreme.
overseas. I'm dipping.
Stop by.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm glad that you did. You're here.
Right? And now we have her.
I know. Now she's ours. She's never coming back. Imagine you're like, I'm never leaving. Yes. Really though.
Well, I'm glad I'm welcome.
It's funny. You're like, I'm glad I'm welcome, but it's like you've been welcome. You started first. You started this whole.
You started it all.
Oh no.
Exactly. But yeah, I do get your cons with missing out because you were working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I do, I got to see them, a pro is I got to see my two grow up together.
Yeah.
And, deal with the whole brother sister fighting and, still dealing with it, because they're still young. But it's sometimes, I sit back and I let them because it's just like I get to, and
let them,
I get to enjoy that. It's, because
right.
some people don't get to see that, and I get to also enjoy the, oh, I love my sister, oh, my big brother, that moment, and oh, I'm gonna do everything for them, and so it's I like it. It's sometimes there's a lot of times where I'm like I should step in and intervene, but I'm like no, I'm gonna enjoy this moment, and I'm gonna take it in because it's even though it's not a great moment, but it's still a moment that I get to sit back and
exactly
and take in. It's a memory.
Yeah, for sure. Even those fighting memories.
Yeah.
With the kids fighting.
I intervene when I need to.
Yeah, of course.
But you let them duke it out a couple times.
Yeah. Well, I would see who wins. My money's on so-and-so. Imagine. You're funny.
Yeah.
I don't have that though. Nathaniel does not have that. But he does have his older sister. And she comes over. And when she comes over, he loves her, but to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, Mommy, go bitch. No, he doesn't say it like that. Let me re-say it. How do you say it? Go bitch. Right? And then I'm like, okay, I'll get you your goldfish, right? And then his sister like grabs some. She's like, I'm gonna take some. And then he's like, he pulls the chips or the goldfish from him or from her, and then he's like, he runs. He does not want to share with her. I think that's it. Maybe that's like his fighting or whatever, but that's the only way. Other than that, like he loves her. Like I'll do like a quick little story. We went to Norm's, and I was waiting for dad and sister to come back because they went to go do like a machine to go get Nathaniel a little squishy thing.
Oh. And
I went in the car to go wait for them, and he's like, Daddy, sister, please. Like he did not want to leave him. So he does love her. So we get that part of it. That's his way of acknowledging that he does have a sibling.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, no, sister, please. Daddy, sister, please.
He thought you were going to leave them.
He's like freaking out that we're going to leave them. I'm like, no, we're fine. We're okay. But that's his way that's their love, how he shares it. And then with the whole sharing, he's like, no, get away from myself. That's
their fighting, yeah.
But she's like very great with him, so she's like, oh, okay, it's fine. And I'm over here, no, let me share.
With my kids, it was my oldest son and my oldest daughter. Around the age of, he was about 8 to 10, and she was about 6, 7, and not even that. Anyway. They were always at each other, and not fist fighting or physically fighting. It's the yelling and arguing with each other, and Mommy, he did this, and Mommy, she did that.
Oh,
no. Or
so it's always having to separate them in different rooms.
Or it's Mommy, he's looking at me.
Or
Mom, for like mine, it's or Mommy, he's looking at me. What?
Don't look at me.
Right now I'm in he's annoying me. He's very annoying. I need him to leave me alone. I need my space. But what? I need my space
And
from
she-
you guys.
And she's how old? 6?
She's 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
She
that's
needs her space at 6.
she's
Yeah.
not even the team, and she needs her space.
How
We-
about our space?
I'm like, I need my space from you.
Exactly. So,
Or we breathe wrong and
yeah.
it's totally wrong
yeah,
for
so
her.
being a stay-at-home mom, you're being busy because your kids will keep you busy.
Mhm.
We just legit gave
Many
prime
examples.
Proofs.
So
They'll
it's
keep you entertained.
yes, it's fun because you're watching these your kids like go crazy, and it's like I love these kids, and they're driving me insane.
Yes.
I love these kids because we also have to put ourselves in their shoes because we were their age.
Mhm.
We had siblings too.
Mhm.
Right.
I love my sister, but we had stuff, you know. We all had that situation, you know. So when we watch them, it's like, oh, what's me?
I was
And
the
it's-
youngest.
Is this how I was?
I was annoying my older sister.
Oh yeah, no, see, I was the oldest, and yeah,
I was the oldest.
yeah. See,
Mhm.
there you go. So that's why it's like, oh, being a stay-at-home mom. So my mom's always telling me like, man, see, that's your kid. See, karma, karma. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my god, she's not wrong.
My dad tells me the same thing with Sadie. He's all, that's totally you, but she's like 2 times worse than you were. And I'm like, what?
You know, 2 times worse.
I'm like, oh no.
You put a number on it.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying is like being a stay-at-home. Yeah, you're probably going crazy and you're losing your mind over it. But your kids, they look at you and they admire you.
Mhm.
My kid will just cuddle, and he
Mhm.
hardly ever likes to cuddle, and that's him.
Mhm.
I look at it as that's him saying, "Oh, thanks, mom.
Mhm.
I love you, mom."
Mhm.
We'll
Oh
cuddle
yeah,
for a little
those
while.
like this. Yeah.
Those-
They come over for no
Yes.
reason, and then they
Uh-huh.
just hug you and kiss you, and okay, bye.
And then
Yeah.
it feels so great, and that's why
Those are the
it feels
pearls.
so good.
Having a long and stressful day or long and tiring day, and then you sit on the couch and your little one just comes up and crawls up and just lays there and plays on the tablet, it's the best feeling. It's like, okay,
Yeah, she
it
got
was
tablet
worth
kids.
yes, I do have tablet kids.
And there's nothing wrong with tablet kids.
No.
My kid is learning off of his tablet. That's how he's learning how to speak. So I'm like, oh, we'll fight over tablet time. If whoever wants it, yeah, like I'm ready because my kid's learning off
It's
the tablet.
sometimes giving the tablet to the kids is my only outlet
And yes,
my break.
Yeah.
Because it
because we're
gets
home
them
with
to separate and to leave each other alone for an hour, 2 hours,
Yeah.
and that's my mental break time.
You guys have the tablet. I had Dora the Explorer.
Hey, there's some good shows right there.
Oh, I like those shows.
Yeah.
I grew up on Dora.
Okay, yeah. I mean, same thing with Nathaniel. I'll put something on for him, and then there you go.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
it's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's when being a stay-at-home mom, you need a break.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put your kid in front of the TV, put your kid in front of
You
the TV
put
for
him
a
in
while
front of
so
it.
you could take a deep
Yeah.
breather in the
bathroom.
There is
by yourself
nothing
in the
wrong with that, no.
kitchen. And there's nothing wrong with letting it all out. There really isn't.
Nope.
Even if you have to go cry in the shower or somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
just cry it out and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, 'cause
And
you
then
go
come
back.
out and start all over and continue your day.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people are like, being a stay-at-home mom can be hard because of that. Mentally draining for
Yeah.
sure. You know, and I'll get into it anyway. But for our next episode, it's kind of the same way for working moms. We'll get into that. Our next episode is working moms. So it's the same thing with that. We'll get into that more in the next episode. But you know, but we don't clock out.
Nope.
Being a stay-at-home mom, you don't clock out.
You don't
Clock
clock out
24/7
until they fall asleep.
Yes, that's when you clock out.
That's when you clock out.
And then you get to enjoy, be like, on your phones. You know? Or you just hang out or have, a movie night with your spouse or
Mhm.
whoever and watch a show, a movie, hang out.
Yeah, that's another thing that we did, or where I was very adamant about when I was raising our kids.
Mhm.
That I put my kids at a certain bedtime.
Yes.
I did not let them stay up till the heck they want, how long they wanted. 10
Right.
o'clock, 11
Nope.
o'clock. Who does that? I mean, I'm sorry, who does that? But
Gotta put that out there.
after a certain time, my kids knew.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When they were obviously when they're little and babies, and
Yeah.
that's a different story. But once they're able to reason, and you can start that from early on. Mine went to bed at a certain time, like 2 years of age.
Yeah.
Of course, they will play you, and I'm thirsty, and I gotta pee, and I gotta do that. But then that's where you gotta be consequent and have to put a night routine for them, so they don't have all these excuses anymore.
Oh, yeah. Long list of
Just to
excuses.
prolong out the night.
Oh yeah, that excuse.
And that's when me and my husband, once they were in bed and had, me and my husband were able to connect. Watching a movie, having, an adult talk and things like that. And but that has to happen when they're little, because once you let it slide, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's just trying to balance it out.
Yeah.
Balancing the time, yeah, but also the balance between all your attention towards your kid or kids, and all your attention towards your significant other. You got to find a balance, because also like being a stay-at-home mom is so draining to the point where you're kind of like duking it out with your significant other, because you're so frustrated.
But not only finding the balance in between your spouse and your kids, but also having time for yourself. So if that's girl time, or going out by yourself, or doing something, but it's a balance of all three.
Right, and then also for all the husbands out there that aren't working while you have a stay-at-home wife, when the wife or the stay-at-home mom has put a certain how do you say it, raising plan or routine.
Oh yeah.
And you say something, you cannot go against what your wife already told the kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be on the same page when you raise your children.
Yes.
Right? Because then you just confuse the kids, and then then you're the hero, you're the fun dad, and mom is the
there's always
stressed
mom
out, always stressed out, and yelling mom, and so it's not fair for us moms either. And neither for the kids. So that's where what helps when the dad is on the same page with raising the children the same way as the mother is, or the other way around, depending who is the working parent in the household. Because at the end of the day, the stay-at-home parent is the one who has to deal and spend the most time with the children at home. And
no, you're
so
right.
That is key. Key to being a stay-at-home parent, that you're always on the same page when it comes to raising the children, and it changes from age to age.
Yes.
So you definitely have to have very good communication in that regard with each other.
No communication, everything's gonna tumble down. And not being on the same page, everything's gonna tumble down. I've seen it. It can happen, but you got to try to figure out and work it out.
It's just going to be more stressful if there's no communication.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. Because some people give it oh, you're a dad and you're a stay-at-home dad. Okay,
that's all. I make more money than I do.
You're right.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home dad. There's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. Your kids happy? Cool. And your kids are happy.
Everything's taken
care of. They're healthy. All right, that's it. I don't get why there's always a huge debate over that.
It's about partnership. It's not about husband and wife and the man.
No, there shouldn't be. It's because of your kids.
Yeah, they're the ones we think of first. What's best for them.
So be nice. Be nice to whoever's staying home with your kids. Be nice to your husband if he's staying home with the kids and you're working hard, or when your wife is at home with the kids and she's working really hard with the kids, appointments here and there, play dates, or whatever the case may be. Just be nice. Help each other out.
Right.
I mean, literally at the end of the day, help each other out. I said it.
The best advice
Yeah,
It really
it is. I
Like,
mean,
I don't know what more. And
because
you
in
know,
the end, if the kids are grown, who do you got left? Each other.
I know. And that's it. And you're going to wish that your kids are like, they're grown. Your kids are grown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you miss them being little.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm over here, I want my kid to grow, but then I don't because I want it to stay little.
I don't want them to grow.
Do you see what I mean? So
if they're anything like they are right now when they're grown, no thank you. They can stay little.
This is why sometimes the memories pop up and the kids were little. And I'm like, I get teary. So that was a good time. Okay, I'm over it.
It's so much.
Remember all the work you had to do just to get one perfect picture.
Our kids are great. I cannot complain, even when they're little. It's a tough time.
I know.
When my kids, if you're listening, you have kids. More progress.
Oh, I can't wait. Just listen. Just rewatch this episode.
Right.
You get older and you have your kids.
I love you.
Watch these episodes.
But you guys were a handful.
They're probably because they help, because your kids help watch our kids.
Uh-huh.
They're probably like, oh, we're not having kids.
Yeah.
Not with these kids.
No, not with these
their
kids. No.
No, they're not horrible, but
No, my youngest already said, I'm never having kids. I have a lot of dogs.
I remember her saying she's gonna set up the cat lady. It's gonna be a dog lady.
Yeah,
What's going on with dogs? I love dogs. She is too funny. But yeah, I mean, just being a stay-at-home mom. I'm gonna talk about like the mental health part. It's hard. I know, because I've been there. I still go through it because he's still small. Just try to. I don't want to say. Well, you know what I am gonna say, because it's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
When you're a stay-at-home mom, it's okay to be selfish.
That's something I have to do.
Yeah. It took me forever to think that way, to be selfish, because I've always put everyone needs before mine. My kid's going to be before me, and I'm like, what about me? Because I'm going to start going crazy. And I did go crazy. I would start crying. And I put myself first. I was like, yeah, Nathaniel, hold on. I need to go to the bathroom. Give me a minute, And that's my alone time. Give me like 5 minutes to take a shower. He's over here bringing me food. I'm like, no, give me a minute.
Or even if you need to look for a therapist, somebody that, to talk to and just vent to with, I mean, that's always okay too. I mean, because I did that for a while, and that's, and that was able to help until I got my village, and then that was different. But, even just looking for a therapist, somebody to talk to outside of, your husband or your family, just, somebody that.
Someone different.
Different. And, they're not going to, I mean, they might judge you, but, they're not going to tell you, but you can just vent to them. I mean, that's always okay too.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with therapy.
No.
A lot of people are like, oh, therapy, that's for like the weak
and sometimes we get to that weak point.
You're actually stronger, realizing that you need help.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, exactly. And there's nothing wrong when you saying, hey, I need help. Okay, cool. What do you need? Okay, go. We'll help you find someone, or go find someone too, like the groups and like Facebook, social media. Go find someone. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Because you never know, somebody in the group is going through the same thing you're going to, so then you guys can talk, hey, this is what I do to help myself, or hey, this is what I do, or hey, what advice can you give me on this situation? Yeah,
because they've been through it. We always we'll ask you.
Yeah.
Because, your kids are older and our kids are younger, and you've been there 4 times. So we can ask you 20 times. We'll double that, and we'll ask you 8 times, 15, 16, and we'll go up, and we'll ask you so many times because you've been through it. Simple as that. And I am talking. I do. I love you. I really do.
Oh.
4
Having
kids?
4 and that close an age.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you kind of have 4 because in one.
Oh, that's right. My child. I
Oh,
suppose.
yeah.
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 We'll get into it more.
Yeah, we'll
But
get into that
Yeah.
more. I hope you like this podcast today.
Yes.
Just to sum everything up real quick, there is hope. There is some pros to being a stay-at-home mom, etc. So all we can say is, I hope you liked it. I hope we could help you today with whatever you're struggling, whatever you go through as a stay-at-home parent.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll
Exactly.
see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.